what I propose now is we move on to our next topic that will be about the development of the skills and how we empower enterprise to develop skills in their workforce to make sure they are fit for the engineering of trustworthy AI systems. So Jan, I will let you introduce, and then we will have a few words from 𝗂𝘱 and the Naval Group. Jan, you cannot step up. What is going on? Since we have a technical problem. All right, so I will help with this section. So essentially, what is important is that all the organization, all the engineering group who are building AI systems, at some point they need to have their different collaborators trained to build this trustworthy AI. So that's the main thing. So we all want trustworthy AI, but how do you build it? And what we learned from the confiance AI, what we have in the methodology, essentially, is a set of processes and methods where we have multiple experts from different body of or lines of work who are going to collaborate to realize the methodology. And so we have system engineers, we have AI engineers, we have data engineers, a variety of roles, and all of them need to be trained and need to learn what it entails to build trustworthy AI. So the association is helping with the methodology already, but then with a set of learning services that we all can offer to the enterprise to make sure that everybody in its own role is able to develop the skills that are needed to perform. And so here you see on this slide a set of initiatives that we have built with the association. So first, we are collaborating with schools to make sure that there is some curriculums where engineers can be trained in their initial learning curriculum, but also during their career. And as example of that, so there is a joint master between 𝗂𝘀𝘱𝗁𝗂𝗂𝗃 Systemics and 𝗀𝗃𝘁𝗂𝘁𝗂𝘁 in France, so on trustworthy AI engineering. So it's a specialized master program. And we are doing something similar with 𝗂𝗽𝗱𝘁𝗁𝗂𝗃 in Paris with learning modules. So it's a smaller format, but learning modules for trustworthy AI engineering. Second, we are also building specific content for our members and training modules that can be integrated into corporate learning management systems. And that way, companies can help their employees on the job to acquire the new skills that are needed. We are also able to propose custom learning service programs for teams, and we've been doing that. So there will be the example of Naval Group just after. And here, what is interesting is that we are able to build a tailored program for the needs and for the different roles, and also apply on the specific domains or use case that are relevant for the enterprise. And last but not least, in our ecosystem, we also have experts and partners who are able to help companies apply all this, so apply the methodology, deploy the trustworthy environment, build their own MLOps pipeline with the trust metrics, etc. And so here, this is what we call the apply consulting services, and we have multiple partners who are able to implement these services but here it's really a custom built for the specific need of companies. So what we are going to do now, we will have a video testimonial from 𝗂𝘱. 𝗂𝘱 is going to present the way that they build this culture around trustworthy AI inside the company, and how let's say the skill development strategy helps with that.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Okay, let's start. No, move forward. Let's get started.
Belonging to the 𝗂𝘗ance Technical Directorate at corporate level as a 𝗂𝘗ance AI Fellow. First of all, I want to present my apologies for not being with you today. During this short presentation, I will introduce very quickly AI in 𝗂𝘗ance and the way 𝗂𝘗ance is setting up to design and to deploy trustworthy and responsible AI-based solutions. Then I will introduce our strategy and 𝗂𝘀𝑥, our AI accelerator. I will also recall requirements of compliance with respect to regulation, but also to our ethical charter. And finally, I will present the various assets implemented to meet them. This section, I will present the 𝗂𝘗ance requirements to deploy AI in critical systems. As 𝗂𝘗ance develops solutions to build a safer, more sustainable and more inclusive world, we set up a clear strategy to support AI for critical systems, built on the motto 𝗂𝘗ance_True AI, where true stands for transparent, reliable, understandable, and ethical. The objective is then to ensure that solutions based on AI are designed and used in a way to avoid harm and to ensure responsible practices in the development and the deployment. Then, it is necessary to develop so-called trusted AI system based on the 4 dimensions of trustworthiness. Validity, to ensure that an AI-based system will do what it is supposed to do, all what it is supposed to do, and only what it is supposed to do. Transparency and explainability, to provide users with understandable justification adapted to the context. Security, to ensure robustness and resilience to adverse conditions such as luring or cyber attack. Responsibility, to comply with ethical, legal, and regulatory framework, including data privacy, and be compliant with applicable standards. To address these challenges, 𝗂𝘗ance is focusing on 8 differentiating technologies. The first one, hybrid AI, allows us to go beyond perception to develop decision-making capabilities by unifying symbolic AI and data-driven AI. Not all our applications are necessarily based on large volume of data. Then, frugal AI becomes a real differentiator. It is therefore necessary not only to work on data frugality, but also in energy to reduce the environmental impact of our solution. Generative AI is today very used, but it is not yet trustworthy in the sense of 𝗂𝘗ance_True AI. It is why 𝗂𝘗ance must continue to work to make it reliable and trustworthy. Autonomy is another key feature that enables to make autonomous decisions while ensuring safety and explainability. As humans are often at the center of our systems, it is essential to facilitate dialogue between human and AI, especially to explain the decision made by an AI. The use of distributed AI along with multi-agent system or agentic AI is becoming a promising approach to intelligence and collaborative decision, particularly in hostile conditions. 𝗂𝘗ance need to have a trustworthy AI engineering covering the entire life cycle of our AI-based solution, from specification to deployment. AI is not new at 𝗂𝘗ance. When I joined 𝗂𝘗ance in the 90s, there was already a strategic plan dedicated to neural network and expert systems. Prior to 2015, we developed and deployed numerous AI-based solutions, but with an ad hoc way. In 2016, AI became one of the pillars of our digital transformation, along with big data, cybersecurity, and connectivity. Then, the technical directorate defined a sound research, technology, and innovation strategy supported by 𝗂𝘗ance through AI. Moreover, in order to develop AI engineering, we build on projects such as 𝗂𝘗 and 𝗂𝘀𝘁𝗂𝘂 and launch the AI ramp-up to business initiative to speed up the deployment of proof of concept in our product and solution. Today, we are entering in the area of AI industrialization. This is due to the launch of 𝗂𝘀𝘱𝗂𝘁, the establishment of the European Trustworthy AI Association, the implementation of 𝗂𝘂𝘁𝗂𝘂 AI, our AI Ops toolchain, and the creation of 𝗂𝗽𝗯, a college for training our engineers, but also a community of practice. Years ago, 𝗂𝘗ance launched 𝗂𝘀𝘱𝗂𝘁, a framework designed to accelerate the integration of AI into critical systems. This initiative leveraged 𝗂𝘗ance's strengths in technical expertise and operational knowledge, and also mastery of AI technologies. Within 𝗂𝘗ance, AI engineers and AI scientists collaborate from research to implement AI solutions in sensors and systems. Then, 𝗂𝘀𝘱𝗂𝘁 Sensors aims to develop AI use case using sensors data. AI initiatives related to sensors will be overseen in operational entities. 𝗂𝘀𝘱 factories use AI to industrialize use case and tools. Initially serving French and international defense customers, its key area includes C4I, autonomy, and support services. And 𝗂𝘀𝘱 labs use R&D AI resources to innovate and to provide operational units and 𝗂𝘀𝘱 factory with technology and demonstrators. And of course, we promote also AI for internal purpose to improve efficiency. With more than 800 AI engineers and AI scientists and more than 100 PhD students, 𝗂𝘀𝘱 is the 𝗂𝘗ance AI accelerator built on teams in France, Canada, UK, Singapore, and United Arab Emirates. 𝗂𝘀𝘱 contribute to the deployment of more than 100 solutions, where a quarter of which are close to be deployed or already deployed. Finally, 𝗂𝘀𝘱 is not only at the state-of-the-art of AI, but sometimes makes the state-of-the-art as it is shown by the number of publications or the number of patents. Trustworthy AI represents a transformative change in the development, deployment, and governance of AI systems. Thus, industries such as 𝗂𝘗ance have to be compliant with regulation. But the data and AI regulation landscape is evolving quickly, with the European AI Act serving as a landmark framework. It classifies AI systems by risk level, imposing strict requirements on high risk. In fact, the AI Act aims to foster trustworthy AI, focusing on human well-being, fundamental rights, democracy, and rules of law, and environmental protection. It translates high-level ethical and safety requirements into practical terms such as robustness, transparency, ensuring developers and companies adhere to the responsible AI practices, including the GDPR for data privacy, security, and system integrity. Moreover, since 2022, 𝗂𝘗ance has also adopted a digital ethics charter based on 10 principles for a safer, more inclusive, and more sustainable world. Therefore, we have to ensure that our AI-based solutions respect these principles, such as transparency, robustness, and resilience to cyber attacks, to prioritize a frugal AI approach or to mitigate discriminatory bias. In this context, various organizations are developing standards for AI systems, which contribute to a very complex and dynamic landscape. Let us mention ISO 42000 standards, which establish an AI management system to ensure governance, accountability, and compliance. Organizations can use it to align AI development with European regulations, such as the AI Act. This is particularly relevant for sectors such as finance, healthcare, or public services, where transparency, fairness, and user rights are paramount. The 𝗂𝘃𝘁 7000 standard emphasizes the integration of ethical issue value into AI systems, addressing critical concerns such as bias, transparency, and confidentiality. Last but not least, the NIST AI Risk Management Framework is a voluntary guide designed to help organizations to manage risk while promoting trustworthy AI. To support this challenge, we need to propose methods and tools and to develop an AI-based system lifecycle management. As trustworthiness in AI critical system will impact the overall engineering lifecycle, we need to revisit all engineering activities from requirement and specification to system deployment and maintenance. Thus, we need to propose methods to capture the operational analysis regarding the intended purpose coming from the ConOps. We need to define the operational design domain to provide guidelines for validation and verification in order to ensure qualification and compliance with regulation and standards. This first step is supported by a Thales MLOps AIOps toolchain called Station AI, which embed already some Confiance.ai building blocks. To address all these issues, we have set up IDA based on two pillars, an internal training framework and a community of practice. Here, IDA stands for AI, data, and algorithm. The spirit of IDA is completely in line with the Thales global strategy to become a learning company based on the 70-20-10 model, where 10% correspond to formal training, 20% to social interaction and knowledge sharing, and 70% on own experience. To support formal training, we launched 2 years ago the AIDA College based on the previous Thales School of AI. 3 levels of courses are offered. The first level corresponds to awareness with introduction to generative AI or an AI acculturation. The level 2, named Able to Practice, allows engineers to use soundly AI for developing AI-based solutions at the state of the art. Level 3 is reserved for AI scientists to allow them to innovate and to build the state-of-the-art in AI. It is in this last level that we propose a 1-year training of 𝗀𝘂𝘂𝗂𝘂𝗂𝘂 on trustworthy AI engineering. And to support knowledge sharing, we set up 3 years ago the AIDA community of practice with more than 3,000 members in 42 countries. We organize each year more than 20 events on specific topics covering lesson learned or collaborative workshops. To address all these issues, we have set up IDA based on 2 pillars, an internal training framework and a community of practice. Here, IDA stands for AI, data, and algorithm. In summary, AI at Thales is not only data-driven AI or generative AI, but also knowledge-based AI, hybrid AI, and distributed AI. To guarantee trustworthiness in AI-based system, AI engineering is mandatory, and a clear AI governance framework will ensure compliance with regulatory framework and with our digital ethics charter. However, we need also to upskill our engineers through continuing professional training and continuous knowledge sharing.
I think we can close the video. Thank you. So yes, now I think it's time to move to our next partner with his testimonial, and I would like to introduce Sébastien Delez from Naval Group, who will share its experience with the training program set up by the Association for Naval Group teams in the last quarter. Sébastien, floor is yours. Oh, we cannot hear you, Sébastien.
Hello, everyone.
That's better. Now? Thank you.
Yeah, better. Hello. My testimony will be easier, as a lot of subjects have already been covered in all the presentation. Mostly, so I will start with why a custom training in Naval Group. As you have seen with 𝗂𝘂 presentation, there is a lot of ongoing regulations. So as part of the progressive implementations of all these regulations, Naval Group wanted to support the different level of the organization for this deployment. To fulfill this support, a custom training allows to adapt the level of information needed according to the job profiles. So it is obvious the activities of a supply manager are not the same as a system engineer or data scientist, but all those people need to be aware of the requirement of the regulation. So the main concern with this training was to help the trainees to identify the good tools and the methodology that they can use to comply to those regulations. So if I try to summarize the training, there was two phases. The first phase was a phase to better target the training and disseminate knowledge. So we choose to begin with an overview of the two end-to-end methodology. This training targeted mainly managers and project managers. So the plan for this first training was to present why there is a need for a reference methodology for trustworthy AI systems. Following the explanation of this context, there was an overview of the W life cycle that was already presented in the previous presentations. And to finish, a focus was made on the trustworthy attributes and their necessary trade-off. So you see, it was a very top-down approach to have all the information. So following this training, we give some time to the managers and the project leaders to choose in their organizations the profiles most relevant for the implementation of the methodology, or the profiles most likely able to rely and to spread the knowledge. So when this step was complete, we create 3 training sessions to have a deep dive in the W life cycles that was presented by Carla. So these 3 more specific training sessions were organized and therefore address different phases of the W life cycle. The first training was a focus on the definitions of an intended purpose and the definition of an operational design domain. The second training addressed the implementation of the robustness, uncertainty quantification and monitoring methodology, but with an industrial context point of view. And the third training session was a focus on the whereabouts and steps to construct an assurance case. So as a feedback, starting the training session with an overview of the methodology and the W cycle allowed profiles that are not directly concerned by AI developments to consider the complexity of the subject, specific issues and problems and challenges. the training courses need to be adapted to your industrial context, so the participant can more easily project themselves into concrete applications for their fields of activity. Overall, the trainings and exchanges with the speakers allow the trainees to express the points of the methodology for which they think there are gaps and needs of improvement. So it will be a benefit for the rest of the associations. So as a conclusion, I say we really appreciated the tailor-made training. All the exchange with Jan, for example, allow us to make adjustments and complements that will be necessary to continue the deployment of the methodology in the company. And participating in the association, we allow us to address all those needs. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Sébastien, for sharing your experience with the community. So indeed, I think that this kind of custom training allow the association to best prepare and plan learning experience that are fit for your workforce and your collaborators. And that's something we propose to organize. So of course, there is all the body of knowledge is available as open source documents, etc. And we are building learning material with learning modules, etc. But as you explained, custom-made training is very efficient and adapted to the specific needs of your company.